Hey everybody, it's that time of year again. Yep, time to get some wood put up. But we have an issue. We have a woodshed that is attached to the cabin that almost has a flat roof. In the wintertime, when we get a lot of snow, I have to shovel it. And then I have to shovel the roof above it from the little cabin. And then I have to shovel yet again. So I'm having to clear that area twice. We're going to pull that down, and then we're going to build another woodshed that is a little bit bigger to try to get more storage and to open up the space behind the cabin for use for other things. And we'll show you that too as we go along. We're out here just south of the cabin. Cabin's 150, 200 feet that way there. And this is the area where we've been dropping trees. This past winter, I dropped approximately 15 to 20 good-sized birch trees, as you can see by the chunks here. Each one should get me about 1/4 of a cord to 1/2 a cord of wood. A few of them will probably get me a full cord because of that large. We're over here at the rental cabin that our family and friends and guests stay in. You see a little bit of wood here. Our first year here, we brought the wood, about like this. So maybe a 4x4 area, and it was stacked up about 6, 7 foot. We stacked and filled that 2 or 3 times the first winter. We had all kinds of wood around the property, so we were just feeding off that. The stove in this cabin is a Blaze King Princess 32, and it is extremely efficient. We'll take you inside and give you a quick show of that. This is the Blaze King Princess 32 that we had dropped in by the helicopter our first month here. This stove is amazing. This thing is a super efficient wood stove. It is a catalytic converge style, and it basically reburns its own smoke and creates more heat that way. It is amazing. Like I said, we heated this cabin on 3.5 cords our first winter here. It is great. This is one of our 5 woodsheds here. There's another one behind the camera, and I'll show you that in a second too. This is all birch, and it is good and dry. This has been out here for about 4 years or more. It is primed for burning. It might even be a little too dry, but it will be getting burned this summer, because I want to move this woodshed. This is a trapper cabin next to it, and I want to make the area around it a little nicer and be able to put a window in on this back wall. As you can see here, the wood is nicely checked. That means it's good and dry. This section of woodshed was built by Jim and Nancy when they did the addition, which holds the bathroom, the shower room, the root cellar, and the pantry closet. I would say it's probably about 20 years old. And due to the tar paper that was on there not being in the best of condition, the wood has started to get a little punky in places, so it was time to rip it out anyways. Alright, there's a lot of the supports. As you can see now, all the walls are down. We're going to get the end pieces out that we're using to retain everything. Like you see there, we're going to get them moved out of here. It took Sarah and I about 2 days to rip this whole section down, including the roof. We took our time because we wanted to make sure that we could get all the nails off the ground as well as out of the wood itself that was salvageable. We're over here, we're going to be building a new woodshed, and we're going to be peeling some logs today, so kick back and relax and enjoy. I'll do a time lapse on this. Peeling the logs helps keep moisture from building up and collecting behind the bark, and helps preserve it. They will get sealed. A lot of people start a small fire on the ground to do what I'm doing here with the propane torch. I just find this works a lot faster and a lot more thorough, and I can make sure that it goes to all the points that I need. This section of video was done early in the summer, and I actually hit ice down about 2.5 feet. Some of you are probably wondering why I'm burning the ends of the log. When you char the wood, it creates a layer of carbon all the way around. Then, when you add some kind of oil, it acts as a preservative and makes the log almost waterproof. It does slow down the rotting process, for sure. The Japanese were known for doing it, and I believe it's called Shosugi Ban. I hope I pronounced that right. All the logs that I'm using to build this structure were killed by the beetles a number of years ago. They are bone dry. However, you have to watch them because some of them are not very good for building and they're punky. All the dimensional lumber that we're using for this project came from the property. It had already been used on one project or another. It also was hand milled here on the property by Jim and Nancy. All the rafters are placed approximately 24 inches on center, then nailed into place. For all the furring strips, I did have to mill down a bunch of 1.5 by 12 inch pieces of wood to get the sizes that I wanted. Now the roofing material you're going to see me putting on here in a few minutes, I received from a friend of ours that lives in Talkeetna for doing some work around her property for her. I had to fix a couple doors, things like that. Pretty simple stuff, but I saved a lot of money. Didn't have to buy a bunch of roofing material. Unfortunately, the screw holes didn't line up on very many of the pieces, so I had to spray some Flex Seal over the holes after putting tape on them from the bottom to make it waterproof. You'll see that here in a second. I know a few of you cringed when I said that I burned spruce. Unfortunately, here in Alaska, you burn what you can get your hands on, and there's a lot of dead spruce in the area that is bone dry. So we burn it. So what we're trying to do in this woodshed, like the others, is put pallets on the ground and use cants from the sawmill as the walls to keep the snow from blowing in. We've got most of it done. We have a little bit more to go, but I need to do some more milling to make more cants. And I need to bring up a few more pallets from down at the tracks that I have a stack of. When all's said and done, what's going to happen with this one here, that back wall is going to be enclosed as well. Going up over there is going to be enclosed, as is this end here. This area here is going to be enclosed, and this is going to be open, so I can actually push the log splitter inside, have the exhaust facing out, and go in there and just grab the rounds from out here, go in, split it, drop it, and then get them stacked. It's a project that Sarah and I both actually enjoy doing. It keeps us moving in the wintertime, and it keeps us warm. It actually heats you 3 times. So this is the area where the building was that you just watched me tear down. You can see where it was on the ridge line up there, and it had another set of shingles put over it over the years. So it actually has 2 layers of shingles on there. That's all coming off for next year. Yes, you see a blue tarp. I'm getting ready actually to put metal roofing on that part of the roof. So this area here, we took all the asphalt paper and things like that from that construction job and the one over the machine shop, and we're laying it down in key areas, as you see here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start adding gravel onto it. As the gravel builds up, it's going to turn this into a patio. In the springtime, I'm going to see if I can find a material, and I'm going to make an awning that goes from just underneath the eaves out to these poles here, so people can come out here and have a nice place to sit without having to worry about getting rained on. The area here where you see a light piece of plywood is actually set up to have a door in it, and we will be putting a door in. That way guests can come out here and relax. We're also going to put siding on this area real soon. All right, that's it, guys. We're done for today. We just did a little bit of splitting and making a little bit of kindling for while I'm in town so Sarah can start fires. We're not burning 24/7 quite yet. We're burning for about 3 hours in the morning, basically to get the chill out of the house for Sarah and to make coffee. Coffee's good. Sarah and I would like to thank everybody that has joined us on our channel. The channel has grown by leaps and bounds, and we thank you all for being here and joining us on our journey.